One of the staff members at Greenwood Wildlife Rehabilitation Organization, which is a multi-million-dollar organization, nonprofit rehab center, reported us to Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Now, why was this? This was Amanda Manoa, by the way, who is the animal care manager at Greenwood, who has pretended to be my friend for years. At one point, when I worked at Greenwood, she told me that she would write a recommendation letter for me for vet school because at that time I was planning to go pursue my vet degree. I worked at Greenwood for a summer, which is 2.5 hours away from where I live. And then I came back and I only worked there a couple days a week, then I came back to the Springs. I never went back up there. I don't live up there. All the people up there live up there in that area. Amanda lives up there in that area. She's never been to my wildlife facility. And apparently, so a member of the public had called us after they'd been referred to us by Greenwood. And this person had a baby and they'd had it for 2 days already, and I told them, hey, can you bring it down to us? They were in Longmont. I asked if they could bring it to the Springs. And I told them we could stay open as late as possible. They said no. Well, I said, well, can you meet a volunteer in Boulder? You know, that's not too far from you. They're leaving in the next hour. Well, I can't meet them in time. I can't do that. And then I asked them if they could meet a volunteer in Denver by 5. It was in the middle of the day. You know, they said no, they couldn't do that. I said, do you have any family members, friends, anybody who could help you transport? They said no, they can't do that. Well, they were only about 15 minutes or so from Greenwood, and I told them, you know, you need to call them back or another wildlife center closer to you and get the baby somewhere because you've already had it for 2 days. It doesn't sound like it's doing well, and we can't really wait further on transport if you can't meet any of these multiple options that I gave you. Well, this person called Greenwood back, pursued to trash us to Greenwood, and I know that they did this because Amanda Manoa from Greenwood then called me back to act like she was my boss about how I need to be how I handle the public. When I explained to her, I wasn't rude to this person. I was going out of my way actually to try to help them, and they weren't working with me, and they didn't really seem like they wanted my help, and I wasn't able to help them, unfortunately, which is not what we want. We want to be able to help people. And she acted like she believed me and that we had this understanding, and then she turned around and reported me to Colorado Parks and Wildlife. And we had an inspection that year, and we did pass. But ever since then, Amanda has been pretending to be our friend while trying to get into our wildlife facility. And then today, she literally messaged me today saying, I believe that we have an honest, open relationship where I'm so sick of the disgusting lies and just fakeness from Greenwood Wildlife Rehabilitation staff, Amanda Manoa. And if any of my wildlife, if it comes out that all these baby animals that Colorado Parks and Wildlife took from us died, or were euthanized, or were let go to starve slowly, guess what? I have on film one of the officers saying to my volunteer that they were taking these animals because of all the complaints. So if these animals died, you can go ahead and look at the people who kept reporting us, like Amanda Manoa from Greenwood Wildlife Rehabilitation Center.